the only constant is change, right?
Exactly. It absolutely is. And it's just, it's crazy. And that's something, people, when they're like, oh, you're in insurance, and you kind of get this look of, oh, it's so boring. And I'm like, actually, it is not boring. It is never the same. And it's one of these careers where if you, for a minute, think that you know everything there is to know, tomorrow you're going to learn differently because it's changed. To me, that's exciting.
All right. Today we have with us Julie Loney, Vice President of Education at Assured Global. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I think education and ongoing education, onboarding education is such a huge part of the future of the industry. So really excited to pick your brain today.
Well, hopefully there's something left of it after the holiday.
And there's a lot of discussion in the industry around building the next generation of leaders. And a key element in this vein is educating those leaders. So where do you see the biggest gaps in this context? How do we prepare the next generation of insurance leaders for success?
It really is a challenge to draw and attract, good talent into the insurance industry. So I think starting from there, but then to your question regarding the emerging leaders, if you can have an existing leader who has experience and success and have them become a mentor to an emerging leader within an organization, I think, that obviously is one great way to develop the talents of an emerging leader. At Assurex, that is something that we're trying to do, is we're trying to create opportunities for our partners that do have young emerging leaders, to create. I'm not sure what it looks like yet, but it's an area where we've gotten a lot of feedback from our partners that, gosh, we need something where we can really help, guide them along the way. And, obviously something that comes up all the time is diversity and inclusion in creating a strong team, to just make it that much more robust and bring points of view from all aspects.
Mentorship is so powerful. I often think back to my early days in insurance, and like many, I hadn't planned on a career in insurance before landing in insurance. And really, it's thanks to those early mentors that it became a lifelong passion.
Exactly.
And I'm so lucky that I had those mentors, and not just at the beginning, throughout my career,
Exactly.
I've really benefited. So definitely agree with the importance of, both that onboarding set of information as well as that mentorship piece is just so powerful.
Yep, it is. It absolutely is.
On the flip side, there are a lot of folks in the industry, myself included, who have spent most or all of our careers in insurance. And so on that note, what are your thoughts on ongoing education? How do tenured leaders stay current?
It's crazy because I hear the word tenured, and I just, in this industry, I don't think that word exists. And, 2020 is a perfect example. It is a constant challenge to stay on the cutting edge from a business standpoint, but also a coverage standpoint. In renewing a policy and looking at the coverages, they are evolving, they are constantly changing. And so, it is critical to remain on top of what's happening in our industry. And, we obviously are partnered with the National Alliance and the Institutes, and, they have done a great job of providing online education. And, whether you're that individual that is really wanting to continue to grow and receive designations, or you just want to maintain your CE credits, just even by doing that online educating, you are continuing to evolve and grow your knowledge of the insurance industry.
One of the pieces that I think surprises and converts a lot of folks from early career testing the waters to lifelong insurance.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, between emerging technologies, changing customer expectations, and evolution of the overall insurance ecosystem, there's a lot going on. So
Hmm.
what areas of knowledge do you see as the most critical or the most challenging for education teams to focus on?
I personally think the biggest challenge is going to be continuing to keep students engaged and energized about education. I, have looked a lot online and micro learning is something I personally feel is going to become kind of a key component to educating and learning in our industry. And, I don't really know what that looks like, but I think shorter, more engaging segments of specified, whether it's industry segments or, terminology or etiquette, whatever it may be, I really think that we are going to have to adapt to a more, you know, engaging, shorter, rather than an all day read and comprehend type learning.
Micro learning. I love that.
Yeah, it's a real it's a real thing, and I kind of feel like I need to giddy up and go and get a little more educated on it, because I think it's got some really great potential.
Yeah, I think even in an informal sense, I think about a few of the daily newsletters that I subscribe to that sort of take a snapshot of industry or business uh, evolution, and really that's kind of my informal attempt at micro
Exactly.
learning, right? Is like
Right,
incorporating
right,
that into my day to day in little bite-sized pieces.
right.
And to close it out, what is one thing you've learned in the last month?
I would say in the last month, I think it would be fair to say that we are all getting a little tired of Zoom meetings. I think that we are all very, very ready to get back to meeting in person as well. I think that our takeaways are going to be a hybrid model is probably going to be what is best. It's been wonderful and it's been great. And I think we've all learned so many things from virtual meetings, but I don't think anything can take away from, just getting together face to face and just really connecting in that way. I think that's kind of my takeaway at the end of 2020 is we're all fingers crossed, hopefully ready for some in-person meetings.
I could definitely feel that sense start to pick up, especially as we look to, quarter two, quarter three, when we could be, knock on wood, on the
Knock
tail
on wood.
end
Yes.
of some of
Yes.
this shutdown. And I think you're spot on. That hybrid model is something that I think we're all looking very closely at, of how do you incorporate both in person and the flexibility of remote in a way that, creates those connections and maintains that flexibility.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree 100%.
So it should be an interesting year of learnings as we
It
group after 2020.
definitely so.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today. Really enjoyed your perspective on education in the industry.